During these difficult times, we're all faced with uncertainty. You know that. And if you're one of the nearly 17 million people who have lost their jobs over the past 3 weeks and filed for unemployment, there's fear of wondering how you're going to pay for your bills. But for homeowners struggling to pay your mortgage, there is relief. So we're joined right now this morning by Reggie Green of Fairway Independent Mortgage with what opportunities are available this morning. And Reggie, we thank you very much for joining us. Most importantly, they need to understand forbearance is not forgiveness.
Absolutely. So a forbearance is a temporary suspension of your mortgage payment where you're not required to make the mortgage payment. Typically, we're seeing for 3 to 12 months right now. You do not get lates on your credit or incur any late fees, but you are going to want to make sure you completely understand the terms of it because you do have to pay back the mortgage payments that were suspended.
And there are various ways of how you could set up that repayment, and that's something you can actually negotiate, isn't it?
You're going to want to talk to your servicer. Your servicer is whoever you make your mortgage payment to, and make sure you understand the terms that they're offering you. We're hearing that some are lump sums, some are paid back over a period of time or paid at the end of the loan. One concern we have in the lending community is we want to make sure that people don't have to modify their loan, because if they modify their loan, it could mean that they have to wait periods of time before they can finance again in the future.
And when you talk about the lump sum, that's the one that really scares everybody, because at
Absolutely.
whatever time, they take away from paying their mortgage there, they will have to pay that as soon as that time elapses.
That's absolutely correct. So, for example, if you do a forbearance for 12 months and you sign up for a forbearance agreement with a lump sum, you're going to owe 13 months mortgage payments on the 13 months.
And most people won't have that, and that's the scary part.
Absolutely.
What about your credit? How much does this work against your credit?
It doesn't affect your credit at all. That's part of the CARES Act. So you're not going to get any lates on your credit unless you go late after the forbearance is over. One thing I did just mention is the loan modification. That can affect your credit, and it can have waiting period effects if you want to finance in the future, if you actually have to modify your loan once the forbearance is done.
Should you get all this in writing?
Absolutely. I would make sure you understand completely the terms that you're signing up for, and make sure you completely understand specifically the payback terms. I think is the most important thing you want to understand.
Are there any other forms of relief out there besides forbearance?
That's the main one we're hearing on the market right now. You can always look at refinancing as well, but the main thing is forbearance right now.
When you talk about rates, just before you go, where are the rates right now? Because we know they're at a historic low.
Yeah, rates are at historic lows, so if you can qualify for a refinance, I think that's a better option versus a forbearance, just because, like we had mentioned, we're a little bit worried about the payback and how that works. So I definitely recommend calling us if you want to look at a refinance. We'll be happy to put together some options for you to see if it makes sense.
All right. We thank you very much for all that information. We know a lot of people are struggling right now, but it's important that you know what you're getting into. Thank you, Reggie.